The view the fans have on the main straight as they complete a set number of burnouts, and Haryanto leads them to the line. Only 2 wins in his GP2 career. They've been this season. He was talking about how the move to Valencia to work with the Campos team has worked so well for him. He'll be hoping for a 3rd win today, as Baton, who will be hoping to keep out of trouble after his clash earlier on. You see Matsushita, who had another failure after starring in the early stages of yesterday's race. He will be looking to make amends today. He should have good pace in the ART from the back of the grid. And they're all in position now. We have the green flag at the back, and now we have 3, 4, 5 red lights at Silverstone. And now we're racing with a decent start for Haryanto, but a bad one for Yelali. And Lin is straight past up into 3rd. Marcello up into 2nd position, so it's not worked again off the start for Yelali as they make their way through turn number 2. Cecotto trying to come back through, very tight indeed on this, the opening lap of the race. Nato for the moment, and a spin for Johnny. It's not Johnny Cecotto, it's Sergio Canamassas who spun round. And so he'd made the move, but he was spun round at the Vale there. Damage to the front wing of Nato, you can see it on your screen. They're still getting very racy, no need for a safety car. And Nato will surely have to come into the pit lane for the damage on his front wing. It's going to horribly affect the handling of the car.
Yeah, if there's any track where you need a fully intact front wing, it's Silverstone. There's so many high-speed corners that Nato's going to have to pit for repairs there. It looked like he just got in a little bit deep, watching the man on his right, and just hit the back of Canamassa, spinning him round.
Meanwhile, at the front, Rio Haryanto has built a 1.3-second lead. We've got a move at the very back of the field. Down the inside, it's Markelov. Lockups all over the place. Pete trying to make his way through. That's Evans racing Matsushita, and now we've got Alex Lin under pressure from Alexander Rossi. We saw such good overtaking yesterday. Hey, can't have made it round the outside, surely. Surely not. That would be absolutely astonishing. We'll have to see that again. But what a move from Alexander Rossi.
Rossi with real balls to do that. I'm not sure if he went all 4 wheels on the outside, though. It definitely will be close. I'm sure Lin gave him a big squeeze, but Rossi passed Yelali on the first lap. Now he's passed Lin. He put in some great moves yesterday, and he's making some great moves in the first 2 laps today.
We saw contact between Nato and Canamassas. The stewards looking into that, of course. Now, let's see that again. Crucial that Rossi does not put all 4 wheels off the racetrack.
Rossi passed me off the track. Rossi passed me off the track.
So you hear what Lin thinks of it, and it does seem to be that way.
I'll tell you what, it's close, though. Rossi was marginally ahead, I think, actually coming into the corner. He did go all 4 wheels off the track, but there was no space really on the outside of Lin not to. So that's a very, very close one. He wasn't a long way off the track. That's a tough one for the stewards to call, I think. So the stewards will have to interpret whether he was forced to take that line by Alex Lin. If they think he was forced to take that line, he will not have a penalty or have to take the place back, as we see the sluggish start for Yelali at the front. And Lin was straight up to 3rd at the moment at this stage, but he was passed into turn 2. Look at Gasly from 5th place here. He's already going around the outside of Yelali, who's got a terrible start. But it's Lin on the inside who's in 3rd, but Gasly just holding a much better speed on the exit of turn 1. And he's through already. Shorter line round turn 2, covers off the inside and up into 3rd place.
So the order, as we watch the start on board with Jordan King, straight past Andre Negrão in the blink of an eye. Then straight past Arthur Peak as well. What a mammoth start, going around the outside and making up a lot of places. King starting well at the back.
He started 22nd, he's already up to 15th, so fantastic start for Jordan.
A man on a mission. He said it was soul-destroying to have his race brought to a close at the final corner. He was eliminated after that contact with Peak. So here we see on board with Lin in a minute, his teammate about to appear. There he is, down the inside.
He got well out of the throttle in turn 1. He's just got to keep a little bit more through there. The tyres are cold. Lin not completely sure on the grip level, and Gasly just taking a few more chances around the outside.
This is the contact between Nato and Canamassas that will surely earn Nato a penalty, and he's accrued a lot of them, hasn't he, in the early part of this season?
You know what? I think Canamassas spun it on his own. I don't think Nato actually touched him. It's only there where the front wing damage happens. I think Canamassas actually lost that on his own. Nato was on the inside, in a completely separate manoeuvre and was unfortunate just to get caught up in that.
Well, I take it all back, Norman Nato. If that is indeed the case, Candamassas lost it under braking down into Vale. We are already on lap 4. The stewards, of course, having a look. Now, if you were the steward, Jolien, how would you interpret that? Was that a fair overtaking move, or was that 4 wheels off the racetrack an unfair advantage?
This one is an unbelievably tough call. It's marginal whether... I think Rossi was slightly ahead into the corner. Lynn had the favourable inside line. Rossi kept the speed up. He did go all 4 wheels, no doubt about that. Not a long way all 4 wheels. This is really where you need a black and white. Yeah, it was a fantastic move. Jordan King, another one up the inside.
Absolutely brilliant from Jordan King. He has really got the bit between his teeth. Now up from 22nd to 14th, and he is really flying in this race. Not a lot of laps to get the job done, but he's getting it done at the moment.
Yeah, his racecraft really impressive.
You can argue on the radio about the move in turn 9 if you want. Tell them you lost time by going wide. We are beyond the white line in turn 9.
Well, I don't really understand why the team's telling him to argue on the radio, because they'll get the message to Rossi telling him to say that anyway. So, bit of a strange one. Van Dorn now up behind De Jong, but no way through. Yeah, that Rossi one, I think, is either Rossi or Lynn's going to be very unhappy with the outcome of that, but it's a very close call. Back to what I was saying, Jordan King, yeah, really great move up the inside and club on Negrão. He showed great racecraft defensively yesterday, and now the same again today offensively. From 22nd now up to 14th.
So De Jong doesn't often find himself in the points, let alone in front of Stoffel.
Yeah, so that's a move Van Dorn had to make there. He's much quicker than De Jong, and we go on board with him. Nice apex at turn 3. He knows where he's going to go, and just an easy one up the inside of turn 4. De Jong early on the brakes. Van Dorn probably knew that from the lap before, chucked it up the inside, and now he's got a 2-second gap to catch up to Sirotkin.
Still no word from the stewards on Alexander Rossi, so for the moment we assume he is free to race. Meanwhile, at the front, Rio Haryanto having an absolute storming drive again in the sprint race. 3.2 seconds clear at the front. Then Marcello holding firm on for another second place. And seemingly with more pace at the moment, you see 2/10 faster on the last lap. And he will try and cut back now down the inside. Jolien, talk us through what he's thinking about right now.
Well, he's got a great run coming out of Luffield, really straightened off the exit, taking a lot of curb at Woodcote, but that's not a problem now. Lynn's having to defend, but this is such a difficult place to overtake. I said this yesterday, really through this whole section of Cops, Maggots and Beckett's, Yellowleaf's just got to...
So this is why he has a penalty. Their drivers were warned about this exact turn. Do not put all 4 wheels off the racetrack. The racetrack is delineated by the white line.
You're not going to see a replay of that. We're going to see a replay of another move for Jordan King.
He is on fire today. The British driver on home soil, throwing it down the inside of Leal. Let's go on board with him to see the move. He gets the advantage of DRS. He's already deployed it from the paddle on the left of his steering wheel, but that is super late on the brakes. What about that?
How far back was he? He's just got so much confidence.
So saw on screen. Now, is he going to try it again? Oh my word, this is absolutely magnificent from Jordan King. Oh, Cecotto's got him back at the moment, but he'll have the inside line for Luffield. They're so close, separated by nothing. Now they get to the traction zone coming out. He gets the squeeze from Cecotto, but he's got the momentum going into Woodcote. He's got the inside line that is oh so crucial for Cops. How's this one going to play out? He's got the position. Absolutely superb from Jordan King, who now finds himself in 11th place, having started.
He did. He's a lot closer than King was, but he's got Alex Lynn to pass, so it's never easy. But he's got a lot of pace at the moment. He's just got to be careful on the tyres, because it is low degradation here. He's surely not going to go around the outside there, looking for a switchback. He's very close, coming down to Cox. This is where he challenged before. He's definitely going to force Lynn to defend again here. Now he's in Rossi's position. Does he try around the outside?
Just doesn't work around the outside of that corner, as we've already seen. Yellowleaf taking the conservative route, tucking back in, difficult to follow.
Just commit hard in the high speed. He's really, really close up to Stoke.
Is he going to try it? Fainted one down the inside, so close for Nick Yellowleaf, but he isn't able to get the move done, and that's dropping him back into the clutches of Sirotkin. So the pressure on not only Lynn, but now Yellowleaf. Lynn trying to defend, Yellowleaf trying to get...
So it's not like he's got clear air and he can just push Yellowleaf.
Oh, here we go, a real chance for Nick Yellowleaf, but Alex Lynn has seen him coming. He's much closer than Jordan King, doesn't have the confidence on the brakes of King. Remember, Nick Yellerly hasn't made that many GP2 starts. He's still finding out the machinery in this sort of close combat situation. Does he have the momentum to go up the inside at Copse? Now, Lynn feeling the need to defend, and that will cost him a little bit of momentum, but you see Yellerly dropping back.
Yeah, he needs
Van Dorn. So we're on board with Van Dorn in the man from 8th, and after all that building into the lead through the field, we see it once again. Markelov trying to go around the outside, contact between the front wheel of Markelov and the front wing of Negrão there. And you're quite right, it's not the rosy picture I painted a moment ago for Rossi, as Negrão warned about either his contact there or going off the racetrack. And immediately, he's not going to be able to duck in there. He'll have to switch back, and it's still not going to work for Nick Yellerly at the moment. Just very, very wide for Alex Lynn. Was that off the racetrack? Will the stewards have to look at it? Because if he's maintaining a position, sticking all 4 wheels off the racetrack, you can guarantee he's going to get a penalty.
Yeah, but he was already ahead there. That's not going to be a penalty at all, that. But it's really painful to watch because Yellerly's so quick through Luffield. Every time getting a key trying, here we go, DRS open.
So he's got the overspeed. Can he make it round the outside? It'll still have to be a very bold move for Yellerly, and he still can't get it done despite being in close proximity. And look how much Sorokin has managed as Lynn goes to the defensive, and Sorokin has to pick a side. He's trying to make the move on Yellerly. He might be about to make through. Sorokin's going to pass one of them. Is he going to pass both of them? And Yellerly couldn't get the move done, and now he's paid the price as Sorokin goes past, and now it's Sorokin putting huge pressure on Alex Lynn for 5th place in this race.
But Sorokin taking advantage of Yellerly not quite having the commitment to pull it off either inside or outside. But he's going to have another run back at Sorokin. This is a great fight. Lynn's dropped back a lot now. Rossi's got over 3 seconds to him. So 4 laps to go. It's not all over for Rossi either.
Bit of a twitch coming out of the Aintree turn. Lynn looking in his mirrors. He's got a new car for company. It's Sergei Sorokin, our race winner yesterday. And a lock-up, a stop of Van Dorn. A huge lock-up. Is that going to send him wide? He's just about managed to get away with that. But you can see the pressure he is under from behind, taking a different line through Luffield. And they're basically all together. 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th. The last of the points-paying positions. Sorokin defending. Very hard indeed from Yellerly, who wants that place back after it was rudely taken away off the racetrack at Copse Corner. Will that come under the review of the stewards if they are maintaining position with 4 wheels off the racetrack?
And look behind Roland, really close to Van Dorn. This is the closest he's been. Van Dorn's going to have DRS, I'm sure, as well, but Roland's going to force him to defend it, probably into stone. He's really quick in the high speed.
This is the closest he's ever been. Van Dorn knows he's so close. Shuts the DRS under braking. Can Roland make it through? He's got the traction. Has he got the position? Van Dorn is forced to the inside line. Is he going to risk it? Is Roland going to be able to go round the outside of him? And Van Dorn just about shuts the door to hold on to the final point for the moment. But we had drama in the final stages yesterday. We're getting it again today.
And Van Dorn now has dropped over a second behind Yellerly. So if Roland can stay close through the high-speed turn 1, which he's managed, now he's just got to stay really tight through turn 3 and 4. He'll have the DRS. Van Dorn won't, and he might be able to have a run down into to turn 6 up the inside.
He's going to try down the inside. Is it going to work? It is! What a move for Oliver Roland to take away 8th position. And the 3.5 series leader is past the GP2 championship leader. And on this, a one-off outing in the 2 rounds, Roland has really distinguished himself. What a move that was.
Fantastic. It's just commitment from Roland. We've seen it in the high-speed corners. We've seen it in about the last 10 laps when we've been watching him. Van Dorn's lost a lot of time now as well. And this move, I think, is a little bit scripted. He knows that Van Dorn's going to give him a chance. Van Dorn has to prepare the exit of turn 4 because there's a long straight after it. Roland just jumps on the power. See the back end there, just having a little squirm as he goes for it. Up the inside, full commitment, forces Van Dorn wide. But a fantastic move and up into 8th place.
We are focusing now on Sergei Sorokin. He's managed to get himself past Nick Yellerly.
3.9 seconds to Lynn. So currently Rossi's going to fall right in between Sorokin and Yellerly.
And we look at the front 2. We've barely seen them. Haryanto had a lock-up, but I think he got away with it. That is your top four. In fifth position, Alex Lynn. The final points positions have brought us all the entertainment in this second race of the GP2 weekend. Trying the alternative line once again. Lynn very, very slow through Luffield, must be struggling, and now Yellowly going down the inside. Suddenly he's got the move completed after spending so long trying to make the move. He has the inside line into Copse. Does he have the commitment? He does, and he takes the position back that he lost 3 laps ago. Yellowly now still has the opportunity to pass Alex Lynn in this race after passing Sergei Sorokin.
And finally he's managed to use that pace advantage he's got through Luffield after 20 laps of trying. He's managed to switch quickly to the inside.
And look at who has caught up in the background. An absolutely storming drive from Oliver Rowland. He's left the championship leader way behind him. He still has another lap and a really good pace in the MP Motorsport car. Can he do anything about Sorokin, who was looking to pressure Lynn and now finds himself back in the position he spent the majority of this race, in 7th place? And Yellowly trying. He's got 1 lap to see if he can finally pass Alex Lynn.
Lynn getting a big hurry up on 2 counts because the gap to Rossi is up to 4.5 seconds. 6/10 of that last lap. Lynn's got no rear grip. Huge slide in the high speed. I think his bigger concern now is going to be keeping Yellowly behind.
Oh, look at the move there by Oliver Rowland, steaming down the inside of Sergei Sorokin as Yellowly trying the alternate line. Lynn really with not the grip he needs at this stage of the race, and it's surely going to allow Yellowly to close up and finally make the move on this, the last lap. Here at Silverstone, he's got the DRS. Is this finally the time down into Brooklands? He's going to have to go round the outside of him. Can he keep his foot in? Lynn decides to go to the inside. Look at the twitch he's got. And still, Yellowly can't get the job done. He's repelled the attack, but this time, Yellowly has the commitment, and he's passed him already before they've even got to Woodcote.
Lynn has just got no rear tyres left at all. Yellowly's going to have to defend it back. But he could go inside or outside. It didn't matter in the end.
And finally, he has spent all race trying to achieve that position. And now Nick Yellowly finds himself in the 5th place he would have wanted so badly. As Oliver Rowland is all over the back of Lynn. There are hardly any corners to go, and Sorokin now has a run on Oliver Rowland. Pass or be passed at the very end. Haryanto is coming up to win the race, but we're focusing on this. Sorokin trying to get past after being passed at the start of this lap, and it's going to go right to the final corner this because of the rear grip issues that Alex Lynn has. Rio Haryanto wins his 3rd race of the season at Silverstone. A lock-up for Alex Lynn. And Sorokin's going to go down the inside. Are we going to see contact? Super tight. Rowland's going to hang on in the background there. Lynn holds on for 6th. 7th is Oliver Rowland. 8th, Sergei Sorokin. And Jordan King's storming drive finished just shy of Stoffel van Dorn. He finished 10th from 22nd. And yet again, breathless action. Rio Haryanto, his 3rd win of the season, the 3rd win of his career. Absolutely majestic stuff. That was another flurry of action right at the end there.
That was. We didn't see anything of this man at all.
Yes, Leon, yes. And you are fastest lapper. Yes. Thank you, guys.
Fastest lap as well. That's worth 2 points for Haryanto. So the team thinking championship for him. And that's a huge save. He finished 10th on the road yesterday, but that 8th place really has transformed his weekend. Started from pole and just did everything right. He had a clean race, won by nearly 2 seconds. We just saw absolutely nothing of the front 3. They were all just driving their own race. No mistakes, and a very, very calm race for the lot of them.
So the crowd dishing out the applause to Haryanto. He's got a lot of experience in the series now.
Bravo.
Marcello with another 2nd place. He needed that result. He really did need that result because there wasn't that much of an improvement if you looked at his results from last year to this year. Drivers do need to take a step in order to keep themselves on the Formula One radar. Important for him. And Gasly, with only his 2nd podium of the season, he finds himself in 3rd place.
Yeah, the momentum's important for Marcello. He's got to take this 2nd place. I'm sure this year, the first half of the season's been so disappointing for him. But now he's just got to take the 2nd place. There's a little bit of a gap till Budapest. and he's really got to transform it into some positive energy with the team. They've really got to come out fighting, go for pole positions, and really be fighting for the wins in the feature race. It's the sprint race where he's had his 2 podiums so far, and that's what he's got to change. But Haryanto's really just been such a consistent season for him so far. And Pierre Gasly.
And we see Matsushita as well. He stopped yesterday, and he stopped again at the end of this race. He placed 19th today, so a weekend that promised so much for him, ending before he can even get back to the pit lane.
And Alexander Rossi, 4th place in the end, probably is just reward. Great moves early on, and he managed to make the 5 seconds up.
Rio Haryanto has won the sprint race here at Silverstone ahead of Raffaele Marcello. Then it's Pierre Gasly with only his 2nd podium of the season. Rossi pulled out the gap he needed. He's in 4th place. Then it's Yellerly finally made the move on the last lap ahead of Alex Lynn. Really strong stuff from Oliver Rowland in his debut round of the GP2 Championship. Then Sirotkin, Van Dorn, King with a brilliant drive. And then we saw Visoyu and Liel. Stanaway was 13th, then Markelov, Negrau, Arthur Peak, a miserable weekend for him in the end. A return for Lancaster to the sport sees him in 17th place. Then Binder, Matsushita, Evans, Berton, Stockinger, Chicotto we saw with the spin. He thought he had a puncher. De Jong we saw out of the car. He stopped 1 lap from the finish. He is 26th. And Rio Haryanto, once he manages to get that steering wheel out, will clamber out of the car onto the top, getting a bit of assistance there. It's the only thing he struggled with all day.
Good job there wasn't a fire in the car. He would have been struggling to get out. I'm sure then he'd get out in a hurry. This is somewhat ruining his celebrations, isn't it? Killing the mood.
You don't want the photos to be of this. You want it to be of you standing on the car, arms aloft. Finally, he can get himself out and begin the celebrations. A man transformed this year. He'd scored a pole position before this season, but 3 wins now. He really emphasized how moving to Valencia to work with the team day in, day out has helped him. He has such a huge following in Indonesia, such support online. And the mechanics celebrating with their man. And he takes a huge chunk of points back to Stoffel Van Dorn.
He's had such a big progression this year, Haryanto. He's really putting the weekends together well. It's the sprint races that seem to be his forte at the moment. He's able to, well, he's starting at the front of a lot of them, and then just able to just control the races. He's good off the line, and a very happy chap there indeed. For the championship as well, that's big momentum for Haryanto, and also Rossi, who held on to that 4th place. Van Dorn, no points for the first time in the year.
First time of the year, first time since Abu Dhabi last year. His point-scoring run is over today. We'll investigate whether there indeed was an engine issue. Nowhere near the standard we have become accustomed to from the Belgian driver. And important for Gasly, I think these 2 guys you see on screen were under a little bit of pressure before this weekend, but they've answered that pressure with a place on the podium.
Yeah, definitely under pressure. They're both part of an F1 junior scheme. Marcello with Ferrari, he's the Sauber 3rd driver, and Gasly with Red Bull. And when you're on those junior programs, there's a lot of pressure that comes with it.
So we're going to enjoy, once again, Nick Yellerly racing Alex Lynn as they prepare for the podium. And you're the best man to talk us through this.
Yeah, I thought he was going to have the move done easily. He's got the DRS open now, but the DRS seems a bit less powerful here, and he couldn't quite do it. Again, not quite deep enough on the brakes. Thinking better of it, but he knows, look, Lynn's got no tie grip at all, sliding massively out of Brooklands. Yellerly thinking switchback like he's thought all race, but then thinks, hang about. Lynn's wise to it, and he just drives clean around the outside, also struggling a little bit for rear grip, but Lynn was such a sitting duck at the end there.
Yellerly really has been a revelation in this series. Did not start the season with the rest of us in Bahrain, and he has learnt so well, has shown great 1-lap pace, and now finding his feet with the racecraft as well, wowing that crowd in front of his home crowd.